Hello out there, everyone. Hi, welcome to Uncensored Radio. Something a little bit different today. As you can see, I'm here. I'm here alone. I have no friends, no one to guide me, no one to censor me, which is a little bit different. It is a very busy time of year for everyone. So I thought, why not jump on and have a little bit of a chat all by myself? So I'm live. If anyone wants to jump on and say hello or have a question or anything like that, I'm here. I'm here to talk to you. So we have some friends in the US that are very, very busy doing the Christmas thing. Hello, Joe. How are you? I know, Lonely Steve. This is the first time it's ever happened. So we did have something different planned, but there's been a bit of a technical hullabaloo on organizing that. So instead of going without content, I thought let's try something that we've never done before. So I'm flying solo. And as I said, the guys have all been busy catching up and stuff. It is the 18th here. So in Australia, it is mere dreaded days away from Christmas. So I'm sure everyone is busy doing the shopping, doing the decorating. I know that Jeff's probably planning cooking like no one's business. If you have never been to a Jeffrey Emmett soiree, you know that there's 17 kinds of everything probably being prepared. Luke's probably being his garlic slave like I have been in past, but we hope they're having a good time. They had a little catch up over the weekend. I'm sure you'll hear about that on UCR Live this week. But show must go on, my friends. So here I am, all on my lonesome, and I thought we'd just have a little bit of a chat about some of the current events. I'm not going to jump all over the toes of UCR Live, but there's been some interesting stuff happening. So why not talk about it? Why not come on here and have a little chat? One of the most interesting things that I've seen in the last couple of days, or last week or 2 weeks or so, the drones. Oh my god, people. Are we all on TikTok following the drones? The drones, the drones. If you don't know what I'm talking about, there have been increased, and some would believe massive sightings of drones, especially all over New Jersey. Now there's a little bit of controversy and conspiracy theories abound. This is the disclosure or the beginning of the disclosure event if you believe ufologists and the aliens are coming from the seas and they're going to let themselves be known to us and this is all happening. But I saw a really interesting TikTok. Again, this is something I've been sucked into. I never thought I'd be a TikTok person in my life, but I am well and truly doom scrolling my life away. Apparently these drones are unknown to the people. So there is, as I said, a federal pressure from federal agencies to actually comment, which they have not. The Biden administration has not identified anything anomalous or any national security or public safety risks over the civilian airspace in New Jersey or other states in the Northeast. We assess the sightings to date include the combination of lawful commercial drones, hobbyist drones, and law enforcement drones, as well as fixed wing aircrafts, helicopters, and even stars that were mistakenly reported as drones. While the FBI is still checking over 100 tips or so, nothing appears nefarious. I can't rule out the fact that we might be some sort of illegal or criminal activity, but all I can do is tell you that right now we see none of that. So this is from John Kirby, who is a spokesperson for the White House National Security. What are the drones, folks? If they're not alien, if they're not a threat, then why are they appearing, especially over New Jersey? There was a very interesting TikTok that I watched last night saying that they're actually looking for missing nuclear waste. So, which sounds bizarre, but we did cover a story here in Australia a little while back about a small piece of nuclear waste that went missing in the outback off the back of a truck. So we don't know at the moment. Well, yeah, actually, very interesting, Joe. People flying drones. If you watch the footage, there's a big mix of things that are actually drones that you can see that are drones, and then there are anomalous lights in the sky which are not anything that look like a drone that you can see and you can go and buy. So the mystery continues with the drones, but I was hoping, or we might ask Christina or Tim if they're on the show, on the live show, if they've had any drone encounters, and if you've seen any drones, let us know. I'm ready. I'm a big X-Files fan. I'm ready for the aliens. I think that's not what I had on my cards for 2025, but you got to keep things interesting, right? Alien life or weird government drones, all very exciting, and we feed into it by having access to these things now. These things here that allow us to not only ingest the story but become a part of it. I think some of the biggest problems is the fake footage, the fake drone stuff, the fake UFO stuff. We saw it back in the day when we had the Florida alien invasion. Remember that, guys? Remember when the aliens came to the mall in Florida? They were looking for a bargain, and they never came back. But we saw a buttload of what was reported to be real footage of alien encounters, and then it all mysteriously disappeared. But now there's all these very interesting looking CGI drones being thrown into footage, and it's classic UFOs, and there's monsters and all this kind of stuff hanging out of the spaceships in the middle of the air. And it makes me ponder the disinformation that is going on worldwide, not only in America, because people see stuff like this and they believe it. I mean, how many people have fallen prey to those Facebook posts saying that there's a sequel to some random movie that they never heard of? And watch the trailer now, and you watch it, and it's all AI, CGI weirdness that makes absolutely no sense. We're in this uncanny valley kind of space where we can create our own news and our own information based off the real news that we're getting, or what might be the real news that we're getting. So it's strange. It's a really weird world we're living in at the moment, but I would love to know more about the drones, if anyone's had someone land in their backyard or anything like that. But there is a lot of footage, and people everywhere are jumping on top of it. I mean, Rosie O'Donnell's TikTok account has basically turned into a collection of drone footage videos. So it's definitely capturing the attention of the general public. And I just am interested to see where it goes. Because what's the point? What's the big story behind it? But as I said, TikTok is where this is happening most. And there has been an update in the TikTok ban that is coming into force. Or possibly, I'm not going to say hopefully, because I don't know what I'm going to do without TikTok. The January 19th TikTok ban. Now, TikTok, the corporation itself, has reached out to the Supreme Court to temporarily pause the law that will ban the app on January 19th. So it's literally a month away until the end of the potential end of TikTok. TikTok has said in their statement, a modest delay in enforcing the act will create breathing room for this court to conduct an orderly review and the new administration to evaluate this matter before this vital channel for Americans to communicate with their fellow citizens and the world is closed, the emergency application said. TikTok is asking for an injunction on an emergency basis, saying that the determination will cause immediate and irreparable harm to its users if the ban is not delayed. Congress's unprecedented attempt to single out applicants and bar them from operating one of the most significant speech platforms in this nation presents grave constitutional problems that this court will likely not allow to stand. Now, again, watching TikTok and watching this reverberate around people who have turned this into a business, and rightly so, they've made their money, they've put the time and effort into it, are scared, are concerned, are making other plans, which you have to do in this modern day. But there was again an interesting conversation coming up about looking at why we are banning TikTok and the incoming powers that be that have used TikTok to their own advantage to, win an election. And now they're taking away probably the biggest platform for free speech on the internet at the moment, besides YouTube, besides, to a lesser degree, Facebook in this day and age. But if we're going after TikTok, does that mean we go after Truth Social? They're all freedom of speech-based platforms. I mean, X/Twitter has had a massive change in its usage and its frequency of usage after the forced change. I mean, they tried to make Threads happen here, and Threads has not happened. But if the TikTok ban goes ahead, where do these people go? I know that Instagram seems to be the next logical step, the next closest thing that we are headed to, and we're already on Instagram. Hi, people on Instagram, if you're watching, how you going? Good to see you. But it's like jumping ship again. I mean, we've done the MySpace to Facebook, the YouTube, like all these things. We keep changing platforms once someone comes to co-opt and coerce it. Where do people go next? Because there's already such an issue with freedom of speech, and freedom of speech should be equal for everyone if that's the fair and just rules we're playing with in today's modern society. But we aren't always playing with fair and just rules, are we, folks? I'd love to know what other social media people are on. What do you go to besides TikTok and Instagram? I mean, the news itself is really troubling, as we always say on this show, this network. You can't just watch one news source. You can't just absorb your news from one news source and hope that you are well informed and you're getting the best and right information. But where else does everyone get their information from? Google's a search aggregate, so you've got to be looking for what you're looking for. It's a worry. Let's just put it that way. To see everything wrap up on TikTok in a month, though, I don't know that will be physically possible. There's all these conversations now about if you are an Apple user and you're messaging somebody on an Android phone, then China can read all your details and know all your information. To me, it's just more fear-mongering and scaring, I guess, people that don't know better. A lot of these people that are so scared and terrified about TikTok and, China knowing your secrets are on mailing lists on the internet, have signed up for streaming services, all that kind of stuff. Your information's out there, people. If someone wants your information, they can get it in this day and age. It doesn't require TikTok to do so. It's a way that I don't know, that they're getting into our heads, I think, by saying we're terrified. Joe says, just Fastbook is enough for me. The news is always ABC in Australia, scared of China. Yeah. There's always an enemy, isn't there? There's always got to be an enemy. And by the looks of things, the real danger to freedom of speech is China? Question mark. But more on that as it all comes to light. There has been breaking news, which I'm going to put on the page just as soon as I hop off here for our little chat. Everyone's favorite Playboy assassin, Luigi Mangione, has had charges leveled at him finally after his arrest. Now, pretty serious charges. So here's the list. We're going to go through it. 11 offences in New York, including the murder as an act of terrorism. He is headed, which is the big one, because, obviously he shot and killed someone in broad daylight. But the terrorism twist is something that was not expected. Murder in the second degree and murder in the second degree as an act of terrorism are also part of the 11 charges. This is what Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg had to say. This was a frightening, well-planned, targeted murder that was intended to cause shock and attention and intimidation, which I think we can all agree. This was a killing that was intended to evoke terror, and we've seen the reaction, which is true. It's a divisive thing. And again, you look to social media, and he's been praised as a hero for some people and made out to be, the icon of freedom, like a modern day Robin Hood, almost, I guess. Yeah, Joe, I'm not sure about terrorism either, but for legal definition, it's not incorrect. That was good English. Not incorrect to say that his actions are terrorist in nature. I mean, look at the reverberations around social media. As I was just saying, he's being hailed as, savior of the people by some people, and just the fact that he is a better looking gentleman seems to be working in his favor as well. But I'm sure there is much more to Luigi's story. There's constant updates on this story. So as it keeps unfolding, we'll follow it. The writing on the bullets is a big thing as well. I think that you can't really deny that was meant to send a message, whether that is terrorists in nature remains to be seen. So we will follow it. We'll keep going. There's always got to be updates in the news, right? News, good news, bad news. Good news for the people, though, if you are a fan of Wicked, and apparently there's a lot of them out there. This movie's not going away. Again, social media is green and pink everywhere you go. And with the massive success of Wicked, we have had the surprising announcement that Wicked for Good will be released November 21, 2025. So for those of us that aren't in the know, that aren't of the musical theatre ilk, that have no idea what Wicked is, where it is, what it's about, the play itself is fairly long, the musical. So it was divided into 2 halves. Now, not to be judgmental, and I have not seen the movie yet, let it be said. I have not seen the movie. I haven't done it. I haven't had time. Been too much going on. As I said, December is a wickedly busy time for everyone at UCR, also for me. So I'll leave my judgments on the movie until I've actually seen it. But the end of the first half of the whole play is the end of the first movie. And that was the better half of the musical. I know that's maybe controversial. I'm probably going to get stoned and hit with brooms and water thrown on me, so I'm melting. But I'm wondering if it will hit as big a second time around. I know that with such a massive effect on pop culture, on the box office, that it's going to have legs, but we look at stuff that comes out and is supposed to be a success, and it isn't. I mean, look at the diminishing returns of this live action Disney stuff we've got going on. Did anyone actually ask for a second live action Lion King? Because I remember when we were talking about the original live action Lion King, everyone said it looked creepy and soulless and weird because these are real animals without the friendly, almost uncanny valley-ish characterization in their eyes and stuff like that. It's interesting that, we're still forging ahead. There is still Snow White to come, whether you are a fan of it or not. There is a lot of controversy around Snow White as well, and its use of CGI. Rachel Ziegler's comments regarding anything that she seems to be another one that everyone wants to jump on the hate train with, and anything she has to say is interesting. And then they're ripping on Gal Gadot now, who plays Evil Queen. So the response to that will be interesting. But they go back to the well with something like Moana 2, and it is a massive, monstrous box office hit. Something that I think Disney's been praying for a while, because all of these releases that they've been trying to pull out haven't worked. And it's interesting that it is tried and true, well-loved intellectual property that's getting people back into theaters. Because those of us that are old enough to remember, there was a time when Disney did direct-to-video sequels. And again, with ever diminishing returns on it when it got to the third and the fourth, if it got that far. But that was all put a nix to because it was watering down the intellectual property, and they wanted people to remember what they loved about the original movies. And it seems that Moana is doing it for it. I mean, Moana was hugely popular when it came out. I'm surprised at how well the new one has done off its own merit, especially up against something as big as Wicked. Now, there are still many, many more Disney sequels to come. There is the inevitable next Frozen sequel, which will be, I'm sure, dominating all of our lives in the future. And they're doing another Toy Story. Now, don't get me wrong, loved Toy Story. I haven't seen anything past the first 1.5. I never finished watching Toy Story 2. So, from what I recall and the hullabaloo around the last one, it was all wrapped up. It was all done. We didn't need another Toy Story. But, again, ever diminishing returns. We're going back to the IP that we love, which is why I'm so surprised with Disney/Marvel fans being surprised that we're getting confirmation that Chris Evans is returning for Avengers Doomsday, that we're going to see all of it. Brie Larson's returning as Captain Marvel, that we're going to get all of these characters that are so well loved to return to kind of put things back on top to where they should be. First of all, if you are a comic book fan, you'll know what kind of storylines they're headed for and what characters were featured in those storylines. So unless they're dead, and let's put it this way, even in a comic book. No one's ever dead. Period. End of sentence. So don't be surprised when you see all of these people who are never returning to their big cash characters suddenly pop up because, nostalgia, no matter how old you are, no matter how recent, people love these characters. People love these franchises for a reason. And we're going to talk more about that on UCR Live this week because there's a couple of franchises that are coming back from the dead. Pun intended. Oh, that's as far as I'm going to go with that one because it's a big one. Joe, I know you're excited about it, so we'll talk more about it. We'll make sure our steaks are sharpened and ready, and our garlic is out, and holy water at the ready. So I'm going to wrap it up now, guys. It's only been a short little show, but something that we can put in the banks and something to chat about. So if you have any news, any topic, anything that we would like, I knew that was going to be your reaction, Joe. I saw your reaction to the article. So it'd be interesting to see what that becomes, and we will have a chat about it because we have quite a mixed audience to that particular show. We will be back, as I said, on Friday/Thursday for UCR Live. And we do have something special coming at you because next week's Christmas. There will be something dropping Christmas Day, Australia time, Christmas Eve, American time. So we'll be here ready for you to chat. Oh, hey, Vera. Vera's Netflixing and chilling with the fam tonight, which is nice. I've given everyone else a night off, and I thought I would fly the rings solo tonight. And look, we got through the half hour, which is all that matters. We are, however, folks, looking for new co-hosts and new people to join the panel. So if you think you can hang with us and you can have oh my God, I can't speak. I've gotten to the end of the show and I can't speak. You can have an opinion and make it so. Please let us know. You can let us know your interests. Maybe on Facebook's probably the easiest way. Go to the Facebook page and inbox us or any of the social medias that exist still. We are at Live UCR on Instagram and Twitter/X. And TikTok is My Uncensored Radio. We are here. We are everywhere. We're an audio podcast as well. So if you don't get a chance to watch us, you can always go back and listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, anywhere that you can find a podcast, you can usually find us. Thank you, I must say, though, to the people that have subscribed to our YouTube channel. We have finally, and it's been a long, long time, we've finally gotten to 650 subscribers. There are more subscribers now than there is content, so that's great. So if you haven't already, please do us a big favor. Jump over to YouTube and look up Uncensored Radio and do all the things that they always tell you to do. Subscribe, smash the like button, hit the notification bell, and you can go back through nearly a decade worth of shows, celebrity interviews, uncensored horror, the Jake Pentland show, all the good stuff. Much, much, much more is there. So thank you for joining me today. I have been Steve. This has been Uncensored Radio. And until next week, keep watching the skies for drones and green witches. Bye, guys.